the next thing that I want to go over is variables. So in here, what we have are called magic numbers. So this minus 16, 16, minus 16, 16, they're all magic numbers. And if we have a lot of code, then coming in and individually changing all of these numbers in your code can become a massive pain. So this 16 is really our speed of our character. So if we press left, then we want it to move a certain amount, which is our speed. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make a new variable. I'm going to call it speed. And in the start function, I'm going to set that speed. So set our speed as 16. And what you can do is on the set, you can either right click and do get speed, and then it'll create one of these circles. Or we can come into variables and drag out speed. So now what we want to do is replace. So now our variable speed equals 16. A variable is just a container of information. In this case, it's a number. It can be characters. It can be a sprite. It can be an array or a list of items. But in this case, it's just a number. So we're saying our speed is 16, and we're going to drag our speed over here, and we're going to say change my sprite x by our speed. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste that down, and I've not put this on the negative ones yet because our current speed is a positive number. Now, to get a positive number, you can do it two ways. We can either use a minus, or we can use a multiplication. Okay, so we can say, just get our speed variable again. Okay, so 0 minus speed is the negative of speed, because if we got 0 and we minus 5 off of 0, we get minus 5. Or we can say speed multiplied by minus 1. If you multiply something by minus 1, then you get the opposite from it. If you got 5, then it goes to negative 5. If you times negative 5 by minus 1, you get 5. So I'm going to put I prefer this one personally, so I'm going to use that one here and bin that one. Put that one in here. So this should function the same here. Move around just like we can. Okay, so last but not least, we're going to make a quick function of our code to keep our update code a little cleaner. To do this, we're going to go to Advanced and Functions and make a function. Now, I like to think of a function as a custom code block, but it's a little more than that, and we're going to get onto that later. But for now, I'm just going to call this movement. Give this a capital M because that's the standard. That's the standard of what we should have. So for functions, we have capital M's, and we don't need any parameters in here. So let's do that. And now we're going to drag our whole code from our update and put it in here. And now we're going to go back into functions and drag call movement in here. So now on update, when call movement is called, it does all of this code in here. And again, it won't make any difference to the way the game plays. However, it does make life a lot easier and reading the code a lot easier, especially in these block-based codings. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. There's a lot to digest. We have if statements, conditions, and variables. So, if statements, if this condition is true, then we execute the code inside. If this is false, then the else is fired. And then again, if this is false, then the else if is fired. And then if this is false, then the else is executed. Variables are just a container of information that make it easier to work with our code. Now we can change our speed of our character to, let's say, 10. And now when we move, he moves slower. And oh, I don't like that, so I'm going to have it as 5. So yeah, it moves at 5. Now that is so much easier than coming in and having to change each one of these speed values. And it also takes out a lot of error. When you're going through and rewriting all of these numbers, it's easier to miss one, and it's easy to mess it up. Okay, so I hope that all makes sense, and if not, let me know.